Molloy College is a very special place, really. Whether you're a student or whether you're an employee, a faculty member of the college, I think of Molloy as a place that encourages community. We nurture students, we nurture each other, we're very supportive. So the environment is one that's really rich in traditions, but also rich in an awareness of how important we are to each other and to the world, really. So we really encourage community.
I think Molloy is different from other colleges in the level of compassion and caring that we show towards other faculty, students, staff, and administrators. There's just a very neighborly feel to the campus, and people really genuinely care about one another here.
John Henry Newman says that the university is about encountering the living person and listening to the living voice, and I think that Molloy is really good at cultivating true encounters between not only like students and teachers, but between faculty and everybody in the community. So I think the most distinctive thing about Molloy is that the community has a really good sense of what the students need, and it does a really nice job of meeting students where they are in their lives and treating them like human beings. I think that's the most distinctive thing about Molloy.
What makes Molloy different than any other college is the positive attitudes that I see around campus. Everyone is always there to support each other. We're very hands-on with our students, and whenever there's any situation where people need help, everyone's always jumping to help in. So it's very supportive around here.
So I think we're actually very cooperative here. It's very much, we value the success of others, actually more than the success of ourselves. So for instance, I'll have a student that will say, oh, there are only 2 spots for this internship. I don't want to take it because I don't want to actually to take it away from someone else who would need it more than me.
It's a community. It's a community based on the pillars of Dominican life, formed by St. Dominic. And that sense of community is pervasive throughout the campus. So I think if I had to use one word, I'd say Molloy is a community of higher learning rather than just an institution of higher learning.
The mission statement that we have regarding respect for others. We live in community. We have to understand that while we live in community, it's not selfish. We can't live alone. We have to adjust to the needs of others. We have to be able to adapt, but we also have to be able to stand firm in our conviction. I think one issue that we could look at is the love that we should have for one another. And that comes out of our mission statement in the Dominican tradition, as it does come from Christianity.
Molloy College is a unique place. Everyone can say that about their college. But I have worked at other institutions, and Molloy College is a home for me. I've been here for nearly 10 years, and it's a home. During marriage, during having a baby, during deaths in my life, I have not only found community, but I found spirituality, love from students, and love from faculty and staff. It's a unique place.
So I think a defining characteristic of Molloy is its mission, and I think any organization that prides themselves on being mission focused makes themselves different from their contemporaries. So having a mission that's focused along the lines of community and spirituality and service and study is so important for obvious reasons, but when you apply that mission to the types of ways that we approach education and the opportunities for service, whether it's through the curriculum or through special projects or programs that we have across the campus, it really gives an opportunity for the mission to come alive.
I think each individual is encouraged to nurture their own sense of learning, to realize that life is about changing and learning, that we nurture that individually and as a larger unit, and that we encourage individuals to be aware of their sense of spirituality, their sense of who they are in the universe, and how we all come together as one to achieve goals together.
So I think what we want to nurture are moments of creativity and innovation. So tradition is really important here at Molloy, and it's something that we need to uphold. At the same time, we can't just have tradition for the sake of tradition. We can't stay stuck in our ways and hold on to things just because it's the way we've always done it. So I think we need to nurture and recognize moments of true creativity both in and outside the classroom.
So I think a lot of that is sort of the things that I said that make Molloy unique, which is that we really want to keep this civic-minded, cooperative atmosphere. We really want to say, like, how can we help others, right? It's more about helping others than helping ourselves.
I've had so many incredible opportunities to take a risk, to do something a little bit different, a little bit more edgy. And I've had an opportunity to share that with my students, who now are willing to take risks. Less concerned about the grade, a little more interested in taking a risk and seeing, where that risk will take them. So to me, that's something I would very much like to nurture and continue on the campus.
So things that we need to nurture, I think, really connect to that idea of the 4 pillars. So what strikes me most is the idea of community. I think we're doing a fairly decent job at how we're communicating with each other as a broad community here at Molloy. I think we really need to focus on what are the messages that we need to make sure we transmit throughout the Molloy community, and making sure that we do it in a responsible enough way so that people don't feel out of the loop or unable to access the type of information that might be really important.
As we get bigger, I think it's important to make sure we hold on to some of the smaller things that really define who we are. One of those I hear about and see all the time is the simple act of holding the door for another person. It pervades every area of the campus, students, faculty, staff, and administration, and it really says so much about our caring for other people.
I think our values, we're very value-centered. Truth is very important in how we function.
I think the biggest non-negotiable is treating students like fully formed human beings and making it more of, like I said, an encounter between people, and not falling into the trap of so many other places where it's more of a producer-consumer relationship or more of like a market relationship. So the non-negotiable, in my opinion, is really having this be a place of personal encounter and a place where everybody is challenged and everybody grows in the community.
There's a lot more diversity, and the needs of the students are changing, and we need to be able to support that moving forward, and that takes some change. So I think that's a non-negotiable. We definitely have to grow with the needs of the students coming in.
Valuing people for who they are and meeting them for where they are. No matter if you're cleaning the garbage or if you're President of the United States of America. We all have value, we all have strengths, and that's non-negotiable.
So the positions that we take on issues, I think that's also part of what's non-negotiable, is the commitment to social justice. Not just because of our Dominican tradition, but because we are an institution of higher learning, really being able to have our fingers on the pulse of what's going on in our local society, in our nation, in our world, and being able to make sure that we have some dialogue around it, have a definitive position, and communicate that within the community so that people have a sense of where we stand. And it might allow some people to question where they stand, and questioning that would be fine, but coming to some discourse and some disputatio, as I heard it's called, would allow us to be able to really think about what position we have and how to best promote it.
Individualized attention and support of our students, and our open door policy at all levels. So any student on our campus knows that they can come and knock on the student affairs door or another department's door, and they will be assisted, or their question will be answered. So I think that is something that really sets us apart from other campuses, in that we really are student-driven.
Some non-negotiables that make us who we are, definitely one of the non-negotiables for me is the fact that we have cookies at most meetings. And I think cookies make people smile and happy, and that's what allows us to be so caring towards one another during your workday.
When asked what did I think it was that made Molloy different from other colleges, my first thought was that I could not say its sense of community, because I've heard it repeated so many times. But then in trying to identify what it was that made it different, and having worked at other institutions before coming to Molloy 16 years ago, I came up with the following. The feeling you have of belonging from the first time you set foot on campus, the atmosphere of caring and support you receive, and how everyone is invested in making the Molloy experience the best possible. So I guess the shorter answer is its sense of community. At the same time, as we go forward, we cannot be afraid of change. Change is good and necessary as long as we maintain the sense of belonging, caring, and support. And very importantly, as long as we follow the ideals upon which Molloy was founded, the search for truth, service unto others, study and spirituality as we strive for academic excellence.
Are we human? Are we dancer?